Two dudes reviewing the news, pop culture, video games, movies, and shoes. Quincy and Justin with a nerdy forecast. So stay a while and welcome to the Ugly Mugs Podcast.
Welcome to the Ugly Mugs Podcast. I'm your host, Justin.
I'm your other host, Quincy.
My unmute button was not working.
How dare it? Rip it out.
Yeah, all right. I'm only drinking water today. It's hot. It's very hot.
I've still got coffee because I'm a monster.
You're not a monster. You just really like coffee.
And I'm a monster.
You don't drink Monster. You drink coffee.
Oh, Monster's gross. I don't like the energy drinks.
I used to only drink the one, the Pipeline Punch, just because it tastes like a drink I had in my past. So it tasted good. It tasted right, you know. But how you doing over there, Q?
Tired, alive, you know.
Yeah, me too. Tomorrow I'm gonna swim again. Start losing my weight. I like losing my weight. But it's so hot. All right, let's do. Heading quickly over to the Humble Bundle Monthly, also known as the Humble Choice. A new month arises with some pretty banger-ass games. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, to be a part of the Yakuza series, or that which came after the Yakuza series. I actually really like the new collaborations they have with all these other new characters, such as with Judgment, Like a Dragon, and strangely with the Majima only Like a Pirate game. I haven't played Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, so I'm glad that I get it here. Dead Cells and the DLC that goes with it, The Bad Seed. You can die very quickly in the game and come back just as quick. There's a lot of good runs, and there is a lot of bad runs, or what some in the speedrunning universe would call the bad seeds.
Yeah, I'm not great with the whole I gotta die 80 times to get through a game thing. After a while, I just get tired of dying. I think that's one of the reasons why I never finished that or Hades.
Hades is a little easier than Dead Cells. Dead Cells is grinding your knee against asphalt at like 50 miles an hour, while Hades is doing the back of your knuckle at like 20 miles an hour, you know? They're both hard in their own individual way, it's just one you can heal a little bit quicker from. TMNT Shredder's Revenge Ultimate Edition featuring all of the DLC characters that come along with it. I never had a chance to play this game. And me who loves TMNT Turtles in Time, both the SNES and the arcade edition, this looks like a whole lot of fun. They even promote that you can do quote-unquote couch co-op through the Steam Remote Play, so I might be doing this with a couple friends. Deck Tamer, a deck builder that is very Pokemon-esque, but has very eldritch horror creatures, not regular run of them. Yeah, I don't like the way it's smiling at me now. They're weird. They're strange, and there's a story I guess involved with it. I might check it out because I do like deck builders, but I don't like the way he was smiling at me.
Yeah, that smile's pretty terrible.
Next up, Conquest Dark. I love me a good Vampire Survivors style game where you just kind of let the game do its thing and move around, pick up power-ups. In this game, you can strangely, much like Conan Exiles, you can select your junk size, which I'm like, is that really gameplay worthy?
It's important. We must know what everyone's working with at all times.
I suppose, yeah. What's
No,
your
like
package?
it's fine. Like it's whatever. Like I don't care. Like if it's something people want to work on, then we can work on it. Like I didn't do it in I didn't like mess with it on Cyberpunk. Like, you know, to each their own. It's weird that it's becoming like more of a regular thing, but you know,
Yeah.
hey, do what you want. It's not hurting anybody.
But it's got a lot of roguelite capabilities, which makes me happy because I love roguelites. I want to get into roguelites a lot more. So this will probably be something I sink some time into. Probably lose a lot of time with it, considering I lost a lot of time with both Dungeon Survivors and Dungeon Crawlers, the card game that came out a month ago. Gatekeeper. Watching the trailer, it gave me Risk of Rain vibes, but with a little bit more oomph. Um, it had a lot of shit going on in the trailers, but in a good way. Like it looked like it was very flashy. It looks roguelite. It looks like even in this little screenshot of it, I'm like, I don't even know where my character is. Where is my character? I'm hoping they have a little bit of accessibility options, like a soft glow in a different color, so I can follow my character. But once again, I love roguelites, so I could see spending some time in it if I can see where the heck my character is. Pile Up, a puzzle management game where you are building a home for a bunch of people on a small patch of land. There are roguelike capabilities, such as cards that can either knock down your home, subsidize and squish it into a smaller platform, or allow you to build a little bit taller. Uh, it's fine looking. I'm not much for management style games, but to build on only a small little block kind of gives Frostpunk vibes, but with
Hmm.
less children labor. Mm.
They don't explicitly say child labor.
N-
You just
You
kind of
you can choose it.
assume it.
Yeah, you can choose to do it. It's your choice. And last but not least, Dark Envoy Director's Cut. Watching the trailer of this game was a very interesting like story that was being told. I didn't quite understand it. It does feel very tactics or ARPG-ish, but I don't know what it's about. It feels very Dragon Age 2, but with Fable elements. Mm. 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 I'll check it out. I do like my tactics fighters. It looks a lot faster paced than most tactic fighters, so I'll have to probably not fall asleep. But we'll see. We'll see. And of course, you get your month free of IGN Plus when you hop into it. IGN Plus does a lot of really cool giveaways, very unique giveaways. Like very recently, they gave away a one of one Hatsune Miku PC that is worth about $12,000, including the custom case.
Well, yeah, they got to pay. They got to spend all that money. They get paid to lie about reviews.
That is true. And also, when you turn on the PC, it goes Miku Dayo, and I was like, oh, okay, that's someone's delight. And you get some extra coupons too in case you want more roguelite or roguelike style games. The charity that this helps out is Oceana, which we have talked about before, which helps the coral reef systems, dolphins, whales, making sure that they're in good, stable habitats. Yippee. I'm probably going to play Shredder's Revenge as soon as this podcast is over.
Nerd.
Would you?
You might want to repeat that because that didn't sound right.
Would you? Would you
Okay.
play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Next up, the No More Robots, the Unhinged indie anthology, where the game you might think is pretty straightforward has some definite underlying issues. Well, I don't even call it issues, such as Let's Build a Zoo, where you can voice some of the creatures in it, I believe.
That's a choice.
Yeah. Starless Abyss, where you can fight against Eldritch Horrors or join them. Earth Must Die is a pretty interesting little. I don't even know what to call it. I call it a storytelling game because that's how it kind of feels. It feels like a point and click adventure with a little bit of extra in there. There's a lot of humor. There is a lot of old Telltale, very old LucasArts games kind of thrown into this, and I'm like, it definitely spoke to me on a very high conceptual level. Just I one of the very few that I don't own in this entire bundle, such as Spirit Tea, which I own. Um, I own it. I just haven't played it, so I don't really know what this is truly about. Aside from you have to kind of exercise demon or ghost spirits with tea. Mm. That's all I got. It looks very Earthbound-ish, but that's all I got.
Yeah, I've never played like most of these, so
Yes, Your Grace is another one where you think it's pretty straightforward, where you rule a kingdom and you have petitioners that can do whatever support, and then you have just people who will blow up half your kingdom and be like, for the freedom of our people, and you're like, but everything's going smoothly. What's going on? There is a lot of weird crap that happens in this game that you just gotta deal with. Out of your hands type stuff. Even your family. It's weird, but fun. Hypnospace Outlaw. I tried to play this game. I do not know what to call this game aside from a game.
okay.
I don't even have a genre for it aside from psychedelic. I wish I can really go further than that, but it does have a story. It is somewhat cohesive. Oh, hey, Rooster. Bye, Rooster. But it's fun for what it is. It also acts very 90s internet. So go in expecting a lot of dial-up noises and strange disconnects. Slayers
Okay.
X Terminal Aftermath Vengeance of the Slayer. So this game was made in 94 on the Build engine. It was not released because it was just a little Duke Nukem offshoot, like texture remapping, all of that, some voice acting thrown in. And then they said, you know what? I don't want to release it. It seems like it would be a little too much for today's audience. Skip ahead to 2025. All of the voice acting, all of the cringe that comes with this game is in it. And you have to fight the Psycho Syndicate. There is no C's in there, just a lot of K's. And you have to, let me see here, defeat sick evil turds and are using hack blood. If you say this game is dated, I don't know when it's dated for. But it's dated. Both Not Tonight and Not Tonight 2, a storytelling game where you're just kind of, it's a dating sim. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It definitely feels like a dating sim where you're talking with a bunch of individuals, meeting new individuals, and learning about immigration through video games. And you're just trying to, and the first one is dating. Second one's more saving your friend from deportation. I'm like, not a straightaway. I don't know what kind of genre that is aside from like a people simulator, but that sounds very post apocalyptic when you say it like that. And last but not least, Tombstar. Once again, it's another one of these unhinged games. It's bullet hell. It's very strange, but guess what? You're not fighting one person. You're fighting other people that can be there as well. People apparently can invade your game, and you're fighting them as well, and you're just trying to save the planet. There's no other objectives from it. It's got
Which
roguelite.
planet? That's going to decide how much I actually care.
It's got life on it. Now I don't know if it has intelligent life, so that's up to you, I guess.
Well, I mean, intelligent doesn't necessarily.
It's hostile.
I mean,
Yeah, see,
I was more making a joke about what I actually care about saving the Earth.
that is true. Blow it up. We'll start again. What's 17 more years? But all of this for $12. That's not terrible considering I would probably say Hypnospace Outlaw, even though I did not paint it very well, is kind of worth $10 on its own. It's very strange, but it's fun. It's fun. And the charity that it helps out is Special Effect. Special Effect is the only specialized UK-based charity dedicated to helping all people with disabilities enjoy video games, from injured soldiers to young disabled people who can't play any other way, whether they are in a hospital, hospice, rehabilitation center, or at home. Their rapidly expanding reputation has meant an ever-growing demand for their services, including loaning cutting-edge control technology such as gaze-controlled computers and specialized controllers, which I've seen a couple of them back at CES this year. But they keep putting a lot of comic book ones where I'm like, I don't think even Quincy knows half of these comic book characters. Like, there's a lot of like independent or
I was gonna say, I mean, expecting me to know every independent comic is a bit of a stretch.
well, or very I don't want to say niche, I guess would probably be the best word for it. Like, there are some that look AAA, like they have got the backing of Dark Horse, but I'm like, I've never in my life seen this title. I don't know. But
Dark Horse does a lot of indie stuff.
they do. But go and check them out over at humblebundle.com. There is a lot of bundles this time around, including a really good Fruit Loops bundle if you happen to be a music maker. Badoop. I played a little bit of the Game Freak's new expansion, I guess we'll say. Exploratory faction of Beast of Reincarnation. I like it. It's just...
I wouldn't... Wait, did you say expansion?
Expansion toward a new horizon, because it's not Pokemon.
No, this is something completely original, completely different art style. All that, I guess. Yeah, expansion. The company's expanding. They're branching out.
Definitely branching out.
Yeah.
But starting up this game, it felt Souls-like. It felt very unique. Voice acting was top notch, and then I see this dog behind me, and I'm like, okay, so this dog is my partner. I'm like, okay, so it's a little Pokemon-ish. And then I'm like doing some Sekiro-style movement, and I'm like, ooh, okay.
I feel like with the way Nintendo's trying to sue everyone for everything, we should be clear that having an animal companion is not Pokemon.
That is true. Power World 1.
For now.
For now. But in any case, Beast of Reincarnation, I'm going to keep playing it. I actually really enjoy it. The only downside is I'm playing it on a Series S. It kind of runs like poo-poo on it. Like, every now and again, when there's more than one big creature on screen, I get frame dips. I'm down to like 30-ish frames. And it stutters a little, and then all of a sudden it kind of evens out when all the characters are finally loaded in the area. I'm like, okay, at least it's trying to keep me in the game. I've been really dying for like an ARPG, so I'm just twiddling my thumbs until Fable. That's going to be February of next year. Got a long way to go. But other than that, Heretic and Hexen also dropped on the cloud gaming and handheld yesterday, so if in case you really like Hexen and you want to take it to go, you can take it to go. But that's not all that's going to be coming to Xbox this month. A lot of games are crossing over to the cloud gaming service, as well as just popping on in general, such as Power Wash Simulator 2 is going over to PC and cloud. Apparently, that's the new port. I thought it was already on PC through Game Pass, but apparently not.
I remember us having the first one. I don't know about the second one.
No. Oh, I'm glad we're getting the second one, because apparently the second one's fucking big and has a lot of extra quality of life features. Monsters are...
having to focus on something that deeply, like trying to like stare at the screen that hard to like find all the stuff, it just kind of gives me a headache, and I end up not enjoying the game.
Yeah, but they've added in the search for dirt mode, where when you are looking at a surface that you're cleaning actively and you press it, it'll show you what direction that dirt is in. So it's...
Well, I think that was the thing in the first one too. It's just it's one of those things like fucking practically microscopic. It's still counting it.
Yeah.
And like these simulation games already kind of give me a headache. Like the cameras just aren't great for me.
Yeah. Hopefully Power Wash Simulator 2 is someone's niche, because there's a lot of weirdos out there that really likes power washing ASMR, because I kind of...
They're not weirdos. They're just unique.
When someone in the comments
They're
section...
unique.
They're unique. They're unique. Monsters are coming. I took a glance at a few screenshots of it. Looks fun. I don't know what it's about, but I'm glad it's popping over.
I have an idea, but it doesn't sound safe for work.
I mean, go on. We're not exactly
Well, the name.
Would
It was just a joke on the name.
you prefer Monsters Are Going?
No.
Bounty Star, the morose tale of a graveyard clem. I have no idea. I never looked this one up because I kind of fell behind today. But I will say it looks cool if it has a lot of story about a mech driver. I like mech drivers. Date Everything is crossing over to the handheld and cloud section, so in case you already enjoy Date Everything and want to date everything outside, you can now. Grounded
I
2.
didn't realize it was on Series X and S. Now it's coming over to handheld and PC. Well, no, that's also saying Xbox Series X and S. It's coming to everything.
No, it was already on SX and PC. It's moving over to handheld cloud. It was already on it.
I didn't realize that.
But a lot of really good voice actors voice acting a lot of interesting objects that want your affection. Grounded 2 is moving over to handheld cloud as well. Ball Pit, handheld cloud. Cricket, I don't know if it's new or not. I never looked that one up. But console PC cloud for that one. I'm not too big on cricket. I've heard it's a good sport to kind of get into. But I mean, I got football, I got baseball. If I want more baseball, I'll just yell at Quincy.
I mean, it's very baseball-esque, but you do have to like throw the ball at the ground and stuff. So
And then they hit it like a golf club ish, and then they hit a stick with the ball, and then they run around a stick. I don't know. I just watched one inning of a game. I don't even know if it's an inning. Like it's very unique of a game. Wish I could tell you what it's about. MIO, Memories in Orbit, is coming over to handheld cloud as well. I have this downloaded. I have not started it up yet. I regret not starting it up. I'll probably do it this weekend, maybe. Sandustry, I played this on the last Steam Next Fest, and I found myself 6 hours in with no real progress, but I was having fun building like an odd structure to go mining for me. And then I found myself 10 hours in, and it was like there's no more left to do in the demo, and I was like, bummer. But if you have a PC,
10 hours on a demo, like that's pretty nuts.
that is pretty nuts. And I don't really like these kind of. I like, factory building if they can handle itself. But having to go out and do the mining and then move everything onto it, I don't know. That seemed like not what I would like. But Sandustry does it in such a odd, satisfying way.
I mean, you do play a lot of Minecraft though.
I do. Well, I can still like if I have two very specific mods, I'm always in, and those usually do the automation for me. But if I were to go back to regular vanilla Minecraft, I would be struggling a little bit. So I don't know. It's a 50-50. And last but not least, Egging On is coming to handheld and cloud later on this month. If you want to play as an egg trying not to break while climbing impossible physics and gravity-defying areas. I did not have fun playing Egging On, by the way.
Sounds like another version of I Am Bread.
It's a worse version than I Am Bread. Because I Am Bread, you can gather up the controls rather easily, but the gravity physics engine in Egging On just kind of goes, nah, fuck you. Nah, fuck you. You're going off the edge. I was like, no! But speaking of Xbox, it's 25 years old. And to celebrate 25 years old, they have a lot of really interesting announcements. Asha, the CEO, had popped on Twitter and said happy 25th to us. I'm glad that we've had 25 years to impress. While, yes, some things have been very disappointing, and then she points out the Red Ring of Death. She says, I'm hoping that we'll be able to, supersede that with all of our future successes. And I'm like, okay, a lot of corporate jargon there, but at least, at least the CEO acknowledges the mistakes of the past and fixing them.
It's just really random and weird to bring up. Why would you suddenly just be like, hey, remember when we fucked up really bad? That was fun, right?
I mean, it's better than Sony. Sony doesn't even take accountability for any of their stuff. Like the
Being
last,
dragged out of the bathroom at Texas Avenue. That was fun.
like when the server shut down, they blamed the server holders, not them. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I have to use a system. I'm not going to name it, but I have to use a system for work
Mhm.
that is a complete mess. The guy that owns it doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. It runs like shit, but like it's one of those things that to keep my clients and my contracts, I have to use it.
Mm.
And he blames everyone else. And he did an update for 4th of July. It was supposed to go down on the 4th of July and come back up. It was supposed to go down at like 8 p.m. and come back up at like 3 a.m. on the 5th. It still wasn't working right come like 5 a.m. on the 6th. And we were still having issues past that. And he sent me my new monthly bill for using the system. And I was like, dude, you're not even going to give us like a discount. Like, you cost me money this weekend and screwed everything up. And his response was, well, could you prove that I cost you money?
Yes.
Dude,
Yes, I can.
you were down for 3 fucking days. That's just I thought of it because of the Tony thing. It's like everyone else's fault for everything. If you go to him about a problem, he'll be like, well, is your phone up to date? Well, is the system up to date? Well, the phone and the system are up to date, and you've done all of our downloads. Well, it's still your phone's fault.
I would have blew up his
Okay.
car.
Okay. Okay.
But they are basically saying, "Hey, we are making sure more games are getting the play anywhere, play everywhere cloud service that you have loved since the 360 era and will love probably to the future. Where you can take your saves anywhere you go on the PC, on the Xbox, on the mobile with cloud, on the
So
handheld."
she got rid of anything as an Xbox and then still talked about anything as an Xbox. Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
It's interesting.
I guess she wanted to get rid of the title of it, but keep the perks of
Well,
it.
yeah, because the concept of anything as an Xbox makes everyone go, well, then why do I need to buy an Xbox? Which is what they're there to do, is sell Xboxes.
Yeah. There is some wallpapers you can pick up. They look fine. They're very branded, so be prepared to see this little badge here that's
mean,
above Quincy and I.
It's cool to see the 360 throwback one on some of that and whatnot, but
Give me back blades. Give me blades with the
I'm,
custom background.
I'm just going to continue to stick to my Fallout 4 background. One of the things I wanted to bring up while we were talking about Xbox, though, some more information has been leaked on the disc to digital.
Oh yes.
So it's looking like it's going to work the way we were thinking. Say I have a copy of. Let me look at my shelf. What do I have? I can't see. We'll go with Lego Indiana Jones. I don't know if that one's backwards compatible. It has to be something that's backwards compatible. From what I'm understanding, that's one of the things I want to talk about. So, say I have a copy of insert 360 game that still works on modern console. I pop it in. It gives me it does the disc digital, gives me the digital license. I can now access that on anything with my account. I can play it on my 360. There's even talks that it's going to work on the Xbox One. So you'll do the Xbox One. I said 360. I mean 360. Sorry. I put it in my Series X, Series S. There's talks it's going to work on the Xbox One. Obviously, there will probably be constraints on what the console can and can't handle. You're probably not going to be able to do like back in Cyberpunk. Wait, sorry, chat said something.
Oh. Operation Darknet. Operation. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I don't know. So I take said game. Well, we'll go with one that I know for a fact. Frenzy, the ball game from the original Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Fusion Frenzy, yeah.
So if I have Fusion Frenzy on disc, put it in there, gives me the digital license. I can now play it on my Series X, Series S. There's talks it'll be playable on the Xbox One. That's probably debatable based on versions. My PC. What's that handheld thing?
The ROG Ally.
Yeah, so the Ally, and there's even talks that Project Helix, whenever that comes out, will also be able to play these.
I'm still worried about that.
Worried about what?
The Helix.
What about it?
Well, how long? Hang on. Sorry, had a bit of an issue. How long before it's going to be released? That do we even have the specs? Because we had those shaded specs a couple months ago, but we don't have any confirmed specs.
Oh
And
yeah, because technically it's not supposed to be getting released yet.
true, but the major thing is, like, with the Rampocalypse happening, I don't want to spend $1,300 on a console when PC is doing pretty damn good right now.
And except that it's not. I mean, if you want the same specs, you're going to be paying the same prices.
Not quite. So,
What do you mean? Like RAM costs what RAM costs.
you were correct. However, there is people who are doing deals, such as let me actually. So Micro Center, great place. Wish I had one near me. They are holding a very good sale for a motherboard, a processor CPU, and 2 sticks of DDR5 RAM for $879. When alone the RAM would probably be $700.
Okay, so $879.
Yes.
You still need the rest of the computer.
You do. So we'll say $100 for tower. We'll say $100 for power supply. We'll assume you already have the peripherals, and then the GPUs, whatever GPU you want to throw into it, let's say another 300. It still comes up
Okay.
a little bit more expensive, but you have now the stretchability of PC rather than
Then it explodes because you didn't put any fans in it.
it comes with fans in it. Okay. Okay, so let's say an AIO. Fine, we'll put an AIO in there for
Like,
$60.
you're listening to everything. I'm like, oh, this shit's gonna blow up. He didn't put a fan.
$60 AIO. There, no problem. There.
Okay, so we're more expensive than what you were looking at for Project Helix, but you're saying it'll be
Better. And
PC. But
and more
isn't
depth.
that the concept behind Project Helix? Is it supposed to be more like a PC than it is like an Xbox?
Yeah,
So
I
I
wonder.
mean,
I'm just curious if this Project Helix is going to stand up to its claim of being able to play Steam
so
games.
I mean but that's one of those things too. Is when you say that,
Yeah,
what do you mean? Because the top Steam games right now, the Xbox Series X can play.
that is true. 1000%
So
true.
so what benchmarks does Helix need to hit to
I
be able
mean,
to play Steam games? Because at this point, if the old console can already play the top stuff on Steam, then yeah, this thing won't have a problem. You know what I mean?
am very curious if this Project Helix will play Black Myth Wukong, which is a PC slash PS5 exclusive. Then it kind of made me scratch my chin a little bit, and I'm like, well, wait, they already kind of announced that Wolverine is going to go to PC a couple months later. Will I be able to play Wolverine, a PS5 slash PC later exclusive on the Helix?
But PlayStation canceled all PC releases.
Oh, oh,
Remember they said no more PC games
that's
right before
right.
they said no more discs.
That's right. And then they said that we're giving you one more, and then they dropped Spider-Man 2 on PC, and that was it. Okay.
But also you're saying, and you're like, well, this game we'll be able to run this game that runs on a PlayStation 5, but we already did the PlayStation 5 and the Series X comparison back when they first came out, and they're pretty neck and neck. I swear to God, if this pops up one more fucking time, I'm gonna nuke this website.
Okay, my
I'm
main
nuking the
question
website.
is not that it's going to run, if I can. I want to know if I can play what's on my Steam, everything that is on my Steam library, if I can play it on the Helix. No restrictions.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
That's my question. I want to know if I can. I want to.
But I get what you're saying. Like, can I do this? But like, give me a reason why you wouldn't be able to do this.
Sony's
If it
a
can log,
petty bitch.
what does that have to do with Sony?
I
If
don't
the
know.
game is on Steam, how can they tell you? Like, they can't tell you what hardware you can use.
That is true. Yeah.
Like, it's not like they go, "Oh, hey, you're playing on a Dell. This game's not going to be allowed." If it's running Steam OS, then it shouldn't be a problem.
That is true. Okay.
But there's a site here, WCCF Tech, that has a thing that they updated July 2nd, 2026, where they're talking about Project. Give me a second. I gotta deal with this fucking cat.
Meow. While he's dealing with the cat, just mumbling over the fact that they also had mentioned that they want to go far back into the past and start from the beginning. And as we mentioned before, they started with 4 original Xbox games and said, "Hey, we're bringing all of it to the cloud. You're allowed to do it if you have a Game Pass on your handheld, PC, and console for Fusion Frenzy, the Conquer Reloaded game, etc." So there are some Xbox original games that I'm kind of like tapping my fingers for to
I'm
cross over to
back.
Game Pass. Welcome back. Meow.
Before we get further into the, you know, original thing that you were just talking about,
Yes.
and because that kind of coincides with what I was going to talk about with the disc to digital. I want to finish this Helix thing real quick. So this guy has a breakdown, or I shouldn't say guy. This person has a breakdown of it says Microsoft hasn't held a proper consumer reveal of Project Helix yet, but between the flurry of leaks, an official GDC 2026 keynote by Jason Ronald, VP at Next Generation at Xbox, and AMD's own disclosure, we already know a surprising amount about the Xbox console. What's already clear is that Project Helix isn't a straightforward generational upgrade to the Xbox Series X and S. It's a hybrid console PC system capable of running both Xbox console games and PC titles from storefronts like Steam and GOG. With it, Microsoft hopes to reframe what a living room gaming box can be, trying to combine the best of both worlds. So it's still, talking about that, looking at that. Xbox confirmed that the alpha developer kits will ship to studios at the beginning of 2027.
Okay.
So we're probably still looking like 2028 until we get these, I would guess, right?
Okay. Okay.
You
At least they
know,
got a timeline. You know.
so hardware specifications. These are the early leaks and reports. Custom AMD SoC.
That we knew.
Um, TSMC 3nm processor node, providing its significant efficiency leap from the 7nm node used in the Series X. Next generation DirectX and GPU architecture. Microsoft confirmed that Project Helix is co-designed for the next generation of DirectX. FSR Diamond, AMD's next generation upscaling and frame generation stick that has just been confirmed for Project Helix at the GDC 2026. It replaces the FSR Redstone and is natively integrated with the Microsoft GDK. It uses a dedicated MPU for multi-frame generation, neural texture compression, ray regeneration for both RT and path tracing and neural rendering. Dedicated MPU, a natural processing unit, is built directly into the SoC, handling all ML-driven rendering tasks independently from the main GPU and CPU.
Okay.
Ray tracing. Microsoft has specifically described Project Helix as delivering, quote, an order of magnitude leap, end quote, in ray tracing performance over the current generation. This is presumably powered in large part by RDNA 5's architectural improvements, some of which were co-developed with Sony under Project Amethyst for the PlayStation 6 and are expected to feature the Xbox console too. Radiance cores, a dedicated hardware block designed specifically for ray and path tracing. By taking full control of ray traversal, one of the most compute intensive tasks currently handled inefficiently across shared GPU resources. Radius cores free shader cores for the primary functions, delivering a substantial ray tracing performance boost over previous architectures. Neural arrays, a new approach to grouping GPU compute units so they can work together as a unified AI engine, which I don't like that word. This enables better upscaling and denouncing a significantly lower cost to GPU performance and represents a fundamental architectural improvement over technologies like Sony's PSSR and AMD's FSR. And universal compression, a software layer that compresses data of all types, not just specific file formats, as the current solutions, as it flows through the graphics pipeline, boosting available memory bandwidth without requiring a more expensive hardware memory upgrade. AMD SVP Jack Hainu describes memory bandwidth limitations as the key barrier to next generation rendering techniques, and universal compression is specifically designed to address that issue. Now, there's leaks and rumors. That's like the more confirmed stuff. There's leaks and rumors about the CPU, the GPU, the memory, the NPU, the storage, and the target performance. And there's stuff about the software in here too.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's sounding strong. One of your comments being, am I going to be able to play these games? You mentioned we'll break this into two parts. It already can play everything that's on Steam for the most part.
Yes.
On the old console, so why would the new console not be able to? Is my first thought. And then when it comes to like the one or two things it can't, it's because it's not released for the Xbox. It's released just on Steam and PlayStation, like with Wukong, like you were talking. Here's my thing on that. That runs on the PlayStation, which the current Xbox is very close to. So there's no reason why an upgraded machine wouldn't be able to run that. Now, how future-proof is it is a completely different conversation. Prices, though, generally Xbox sells the consoles at a loss. So when you say, I don't want to spend $1,300 on this thing that's not going to be able to do what my PC does, well, I don't see why it wouldn't be able to when their older console can, just isn't software set up for it. However, I don't know where the price is going to be. And a new PC is not cheap. We just, started to throw some of those numbers around. And so it's like, if they sell this thing at a loss, unlike what PlayStation's talking about with the 6, where they say they're no longer going to sell them at a loss, they want to turn profit on every console. So they're talking the new PlayStation will be over $1,000. I mean, I think it's got potential there. And then you've got this fact that they're the leaks for, and this is where I was originally going with this, the leaks for the disc to digital. The big talk is that when you do your licensing, it's going to be available on everything within reason of what the console can play. This is a newer console, so it should be able to play everything on the previous consoles. But you're not going to be able to go and boot up your original Xbox, sign into your Xbox account, and play Cyberpunk. Like, that's obviously not going to happen. But there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to play everything that you have on the new thing. And this is even saying, like, the leak for the disc digital is saying, when you claim these license, they'll be playable on your Series X, Series S. They'll be playable on your One within reason. They'll be playable on your PC. They'll be playable on that handheld thing, and they'll be playable on Project Helix. And that's not a conversation of hardware handling it. It's a conversation of backwards compatibility still being a thought process in Helix. Which is something I like, because it's something we do not get from PlayStation. And one of the things that this leak talked about that I wanted to talk about is it's not going to kill the trade industry or the resale industry for video games, because you get the license. And this is what we had talked about earlier. I was like, is this how it's going to work? And we're like, we don't know. But now this leak is suggesting it is. Say I take insert game, Fusion Frenzy, and I do the disc to digital, and I get the license on that. And then I go and I sell it to GameStop. And you go to GameStop and you buy it and you get that copy and you put it in your console, it cancels my digital license, which I'm fine with. I sold the game. I don't own the game anymore. Why would I get to keep the digital license? I'm fine with it. It doesn't kill the trade and resale industry, which is a big thing for people who don't have the money for new games. I'm all for that. The point of the disc to digital is not to make a copy of the game and then sell it. It's to allow you to play your games across multiple devices and other places, and on devices like the handheld or your PC that you can't pop an Xbox disc into.
Okay.
One of the questions I have that hasn't been answered yet, and this is something that kind of pertains to what I came back to and hearing you talk about with, like, there's some classic Xbox games you want access to that you're hoping will come to cloud gaming because you haven't been able to play them. And this is where my question comes into play, because the way they're talking, the way they're wording, it's not really clear. For instance, I have the Xbox Punisher game. I've never actually gotten to play it. I don't have an original Xbox anymore.
Okay.
That game only works on the original Xbox. Will this new disc to digital, will Project Helix, either one of those, both of them, allow me to do those? Or is this just going to be the list of games we already have that are already backwards compatible? Like, is this just I get to make a digital copy of Frenzy Fusion because they worked out the licensing, did the emulation, and make it backwards compatible? Or will I actually be able to do it with all of my games that I can no longer play because I no longer have hardware that supports them? That's the question I have that I want answered. Because, because a lot of these licensing things, there's no getting around it. They tried when they, did the original everything. We're making as much backwards compatible as possible as we can. And if it didn't go through then, it's probably not going through now. Some of them they could probably work with, like for instance, they own Activision now, so they could probably go through and do all the Marvel games that we haven't had access to. Ultimate Alliance, Deadpool, Punisher, X-Men games, things like that. But yeah, that's the big unanswered question I have, because like you mentioned when I was coming back, there's a lot of games that you don't have access to that if they come to Game Pass, you'd love to play them. And so that's where I'm wondering where I'm sitting at. I have these games that unless I go and I buy an original Xbox, I can't touch unless I can, find a way to rip them to the computer and find an emulator that can run them and all that stuff. I'd love to just pop them in my Xbox and just call it a day.
Yeah. I mean, the disc to digital definitely also preserves the idea of my disc would be like, let's say my old Punisher one that you were just talking about. My old Punisher disc was scratched to all hell from a child. I
Right.
would love to have that digitally, so that way, even if it got worse, it could still be playable.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like it's like the question becomes how much information do you need off this disc to give me a digital copy? Because it shouldn't be a full rip like we are getting with like you would do ripping to your computer. But at the same time, it might have to be if there's no digital version of this in the library, because you can't go and buy that Punisher game on the Xbox library. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. If you own a physical copy of it, that's the only way you have it anymore. So that's another thing where I sit there and go, this is just a digital. I'm wondering, is this just going to be all the games we already have backwards compatible? It's just now we can make digital copies of them.
Hmm.
We no longer have to put the disc in. Like that's my question, because if that's the case, I mean that's still cool. That's awesome. Great. I want that. But it still leaves so many games lost.
Hmm. Hmm. The piracy world is also getting really good at just being able to pull things out of thin air and say, here's a fully uncompiled game that we're recompiling to work perfectly on even the most potato of PCs. And like, I'm not saying to go and find it, but there is a Bloodborne project that is working more
It's
adamant.
finally going to hit the 60 frames per second.
It is. It is. It is hitting 60 frames. It is giving everybody the quality of life features that FromSoft would not be able to give the original because they're done with it. They're not working on it anymore. There's a lot of really good features. There's even co-op, seamless co-op in this game. And I'm like, this would have flipped so many heads when this came out on the PS4. It would have turned so many heads on a swivel to make people love this game more than it already should. Because Bloodborne is my favorite FromSoft game. I would love to play through it again on 60 frames, but I'm not going to go doing the yo ho ho route. I would rather do it legitimate.
Well, and I've got mixed feelings and a criteria on what I look at when it comes to piracy and all of that. I'm all for preservation and archivaling and saving lost media. And that goes across the board. TV, movies, music, radio shows, books, comics, video games, all of it. Bloodborne is not lost media. And so it's one of those things where I sit there and go, well, I'm not going to pirate Bloodborne. I can go and buy Bloodborne. Although at the same time, I don't like supporting Sony. So that's where it comes back to the, well, would I pirate it thing? I don't have to worry about that conundrum in my head. I own Bloodborne. But they won't give the fans what they want. They won't do the updates. They won't do the support. They won't do any of that. And so it's not piracy when someone goes through and makes a mod that allows you to do multiplayer or reworks the coding that allows you to do multiplayer, any of that. That's not piracy, and I don't see a problem with that. You're not stealing anything from anybody. You're adding to this game stuff that they wouldn't add. It's kind of where I'm at with 60 frames per second. Now, if the only way they can do that stuff is by making a version of this game that you will need to pirate, you can't use the copy you own. You have to pirate their version of the game. That's where you start to get into questionable things. And I believe in paying artists. Yes, I don't want to support the big studios, but I do want to support the people that work on it. And it becomes like this whole like mixture of like moral conundrum and whatnot. Like I had a friend reach out to me asking about a specific movie and asking if I had the ability to put it on my jellyfin. I said not without pirating, and we both and he immediately the decision was okay. Yeah, well, I'm not. No, we're not doing it then. Not interested.
Cool. Okay.
Because it is something that we can buy and support the studio. The studio is not shitty, so on and so forth. It is available. It was more a question of like essentially, can I borrow it? I don't have it for you to borrow. Okay.
Okay. That raises up another question. What do you, not saying it's piracy or anything, but what do you figure of archival things, such as if I own a copy of Pokemon Red and I get it, I'm holding up fingers here, illegally, but as an archival purpose on my PC, do you find that to be piracy?
Like, here's the thing: is like I'm all for archival and saving lost media.
Yes.
But Pokemon Red exists. You can buy Pokemon Red. That being said, they're not making new copies of Pokemon Red. Pokemon Red did not get this new release on Steam, or not Steam, the Switch and all that. Like Leaf, well, no, they did do Red, right? They did Leaf Green, and what did they do? What was the new releases? Was it Green and Red, or was it Green and Blue?
I think it was Fire Red, Leaf Green.
Okay, so Fire Red, Leaf Green, which are the remakes and whatnot. So yeah, it's one of those things like that thing doesn't exist really anymore. Like you can't just walk into the store or buy a digital copy of Pokemon Red.
Mhm.
It's gone in a sense, unless you have the cartridge, which those cartridges are deteriorating. They're not going to last forever,
And the battery.
and they're expensive as shit.
Wait, does the Game Boy Advance versions have the battery to keep their saves? I don't really know. I know that the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Color versions had the save data on the battery, but did Game Boy Advance ones have it?
Well, I know that my version of Sapphire had the battery, but it wasn't to save the data. It was for an internal clock in it because you had to like do like tide changes and stuff like that. And that was the Game Boy Advance one made for the Game Boy Advance. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm looking online. You can buy Red. It's not as expensive as I thought.
But
It's actually a lot cheaper than I thought.
How about a Game Boy? Because I no longer own the Game Boy.
Let's see about Game Boys.
There's a place in Japan where you can build your own Game Boy, which is kind of cool. Yeah, the only downside is $200, but it's an experience as well.
I mean, if you're cool with just going with a yellow Game Boy Color, $70. Here's your regular Game Boy. This one's for parts only. It doesn't have power. Clear Game Boy Pocket, $69.99.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where it's like, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you should live by my moral code or that I'm going to think less of you because you download a game or anything. I'm just telling you the stipulations and the standards I set for myself. I don't pirate things if I have another way to get them. If there isn't another way to get them, then you kind of leave me no choice. Sure. If you're a shitty person and I don't want to support you, you kind of leave me no choice. That's kind of where I'm at on that. So when it comes to Red,
Okay.
I understand making digital copies of something that's on a cartridge that's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
I
As you
understand once
mentioned,
that digital copy exists, people are going to put it on archive sites and put it out there and whatnot. And emulators are a thing. And honestly, Nintendo's kind of put us in that spot too, because it's not like you can pop a cartridge if you had it into the Switch. They purposely changed the format of each console so that you can't carry your stuff over. I mean, we went from the NES cartridges to the Super NES cartridges to the N64 cartridges to the GameCube discs to the Wii discs, which were completely different than the GameCube discs. Yes, the Wii could play the GameCube games. Wii to Wii U didn't really change anything, and it's probably one of the reasons why that console failed. Because they didn't do their forced obsolescence, which is a disgusting thing. I don't agree with forced obsolescence either. But then they go from the Wii U to the Switch, which goes back to cartridges, but a completely new cartridge because now it's the fucking 2010s, 2020s. Technology has changed. We have rice cookers. That's not an Asian joke. That's a
yeah.
Uncle. What's his name? Uncle.
I don't
I
know.
can't remember his name. He does the cooking videos. He gets mad whenever people try to cook rice
Uncle
not in a rice
Roger.
cooker. Uncle Roger. Yeah, it's past World War II. We have technology now with rice cookers exist. Um, you know, uh, and so they've done the forced obsolescence. So they've made it to where, oh hey, we know you own that game. You can't play it. Like, buy this new version of it that isn't even the original because we changed it. And it's the Ocarina of Time conversation. Ocarina of Time's coming to the Switch too. I'm excited. I don't have the Switch too.
I would love to see some gameplay before making a final judgment on that.
I'm excited in the sense of like, oh hey, I can easily play Ocarina of Time if I had a Switch 2. But I don't have a Switch 2. I'm not going to go out and buy a Switch 2 for one game. I don't agree with buying consoles for one game. But how many versions of Ocarina have we done? And they keep getting you to buy it because they keep locking you out of playing your old version because eventually your console dies. Eventually your copy dies if it's a cartridge. Discs can degrade as well. They just don't degrade as harshly. But let's see, how many times has
You can't keep getting away with this. Sorry, the Breaking Bad scene just immediately crossed my mind.
No, I get you. Let's see how many releases Ocarina of Time has had. So it got the original N64 release, of course. It got re-released on the GameCube. It was remade for the 3DS. It was remade, and it's being remade for the Nintendo Switch too. So it's had two full releases and two remakes, but that's not counting anytime they've just done a digital version because I'm pretty sure they've done that, haven't they? I know that the Majora's Mask is digital on the Switch. I'm pretty sure Majora's Mask is digital on the Switch, isn't it? So I would assume they've done that with Ocarina as well. Basically, I still own my original copy of Ocarina of Time. The day my N64 dies or the day that cartridge dies is the day where I sit there and go, okay, maybe it's time to buy a new copy. But if I want to easily play it on my modern device, it's not like I can just plug the cartridge in or plug the N64 in. And yeah, some of that is like the technology's just gotten so much better. But in other cases, like when you look at the Xbox, you look at the PlayStation, it's like, man, this is still just discs. You guys can write the code. You can make it emulate. You're choosing not to because you want to resell us Skyrim 17 times.
We love Skyrim.
I mean, how many releases of Skyrim have we done? Like,
6.
Last
of Us is getting
how many?
bad by hitting.
Yeah, I was about to say, how many versions of Last of Us are there? Oh, see, the internet just wanted to bring me up the TV show, not the game. Yeah, it really just wants to show me the show. It does not want to show me the game. That's weird. 2013, and then the DLCs in 2014. The sequel in 2022. Then they remade it. They remade the first one in 2020, and then they remade the second one in 2024. So it's only been 2 releases for The Last of Us. But the original Last of Us came out on PlayStation 3, which means you cannot play it on the PlayStation 4. So they did force you into buying that PlayStation 4 re-release.
Them assholes.
Yeah, and then I don't remember if can the PlayStation 5, because I don't have a PlayStation 5. Can the PlayStation 5 play PlayStation 4 games?
From what I can recall, yes.
Okay, well, at least there's that. But it still can't play PlayStation 3 games. The PlayStation 3, only one version, it very briefly could play PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2 could at least play PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at. So you asked me, you used Red as an example, and it's a good example to bring up. I get why you would want to emulate it. I get why you would want to get a copy on there, go back, play it. The digital copy existing is an archiving of it. I'm not going to argue that. And I don't blame you for wanting to do that, because otherwise you have to go buy all this equipment and hope that it works and whatnot, because they didn't just make it to where you can keep playing your game. Like there was a plug-in, but it was aftermarket for the GameCube to allow you to play Game Boy games or Game Boy Advance games. Wasn't even something that that Nintendo would put out there. They're like, hey, someone else had to make it,
Let's just blow up Sony. Nintendo can change. I have faith in Nintendo.
I don't know, man. They're so Sue happy lately, and that's and we just talked about their physical consoles. We even discuss handhelds.
Yeah.
So the Game Boy and the Pocket Game Boy could play the same games. The Game Boy Color could play those games. The Game Boy Advance could play those games. They were doing so well, and then someone went, and the SP also, and then someone went, let's make a new console. We're gonna do the DS. That I think was it the first version of the DS could play Game Boy Advance games, but the second version, when they did the 3DS, they got rid of the port completely.
That's correct.
Just removed it.
Yeah, they just removed it, and that was a blow to me, because I was like, I like the idea of being able to just to pop it in the bottom screen and just play.
Yeah. Killing that progression, killing the collection that you've had and carried with you, because they're like, well, no, we want you to rebuy versions of this game. I mean, I bet you anything. Let's see, because I can tell you I still have Mega Man 1 for my Game Boy. So Game Boy 3DS. Let's see. Yeah, they sold a different version of it for the 3DS because they did the chips. So yeah, they straight up went, "Hey, oh no, that's not even the first Mega Man." Oh, wait, a lot of Mega Man games. Which
A lot of Mega Man games.
No, this says lot. Like there's a lot of them.
Oh,
Like they're selling several. No, those are all the later ones. So I'm not even sure that they did a fucking release for Mega Man on the 3DS. I would assume they did. Excuse me, sorry. List of Mega Man video games. Here we go. So yeah, Mega Man was released on the Famicom and NES, then again on the PlayStation, and then the Wii, the 3DS, the Wii U, and eventually Android/iOS. The original Mega Man. That does not list Game Boy. Which fucking Mega Man game do I have on Game Boy then? Game Boy versions. Here we go. They're separate tier. So Mega Man, Dr. Wily's Revenge, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 2 is the one we'll use as the example. So you buy Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy, and you can play it on the Game Boy all the way up to the Game Boy DS, and then they released the 3DS, which no longer lets you play Game Boy games, and that's conveniently when they come out with a new version of it. So yeah, they force you to buy a game that you already have by removing the slot that lets you play that game. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. So like, when you ask me Red, that's my thought process on it. Is like, I mean, if they're not really leaving you an option, then they're not really leaving you an option. And at the end of the day, it's a question of like, are you supporting the artist at this point, or are you just supporting a greedy corporation at this point?
I don't want to support no greedy corporations. I just want to blow them up at this point.
Well, it's like we had the thing with Silksong, where everyone was like, "Hey, don't pirate this. Like, actually give this company the money."
Yeah, and for the first week, they had it on sale on Steam for $4 off. What game could you say that isn't on Steam? Could you say was $4 off at launch?
At launch, yeah. So that's where I'm at on it. But I think the disc to digital is an interesting step and hopefully the right step in the right direction. But I think we're still going to have severe limitations when they sit there and put licensing into play. And so I think people are still going to pirate. If you want to play Simpsons Hit and Run, what do you got to do?
Oh my
You got
god!
to either hope you find an old copy or you got to pirate it.
You just like hit me like a freaking sleeper agent. I miss that
Like
game.
that's yeah, like that's the reality of what we're in. Like I've got plenty of Xbox games. I've got plenty of 360 games that I cannot play on my modern console, even though it's still disc in a disc tray. So, that's my thought on it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. So we
End
can
of the
keep
day.
talking about the 25 anniversary thing though.
That's fine. I mean, you are very passionate about the preservation of information.
It's just wild to sit there and that people put this much time and this much work in something and then, it's just killed off and lost because someone decides one day, oh, we're not making enough profit of it. But don't you dare go and put it out there for other people to have because, that's still ours.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like when a studio goes through and says, "Oh, hey, we're not going to put this movie on streaming. We're not going to give it a physical release." Like there's a TV show from the early days of the WB. It's one of Michael Rosenbaum's first shows. It's called Zoe Duncan, Jack and Jane. It got 2 seasons on the WB. Never got a physical release. It's never been on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, nothing. But I bet you if you put it up on YouTube, in a second, Warner would come in and go, "Well, no, copyright. That's ours." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's why, is that even pirating at that point if they don't sell it? And then there's also the argument that it's been going on for a while. If buying isn't owning, then is pirating
Yo
stealing?
ho ho.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I know I went on a tangent. And we got into a whole like branch off of what we were supposed to be talking about Xbox 25, but yeah, that's my thoughts on it. So.
Sticking with the Xbox 25, though, the Xbox Series X25 See-Through Edition, a translucent OC green, pretty dang good looking console, in my opinion. There's a bit of me that wants it, but obviously finances and all that, and I don't even know if it's gonna be limited edition, so probably one of those things of only a limited number might be available.
That's the thing. This thing's beautiful. I love this. This is
Mm.
fun. It's more storage than my current one, so it's one of those things. It's like I own one. This would be a cool replacement to either sell that one, give that one away, move it to an. Oh, go back up. It has 2 terabytes too.
Oh, that's the Galaxy one. Yeah, that one's sold out
Oh,
though.
it's just the Galaxy. Oh,
Yeah.
I was hoping that was in the green. I mean the Galaxy's cool, but the green's better. The green's also very 90s, like we did our see-through technology thing. Well, yeah, and that's the thing, $800 for the 2 terabytes. So you got to figure the 1 terabyte will be cheaper, but then it's also green and special, so it's gonna be more expensive than a regular one, and the regular ones have gone up in price. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But this does look pretty. Going all the way down though, it shows off the controller a little bit more in depth, and it gave me early Duke vibes, even though it's obviously not the monstrosity that was the Duke. But it definitely felt like a nostalgic burst. Like they knew what they were doing making this controller.
That's one of the things I gotta say is there's so many times where I look at a controller and go, "Oh, that's gonna be fucking uncomfortable," and then I get a hold of it and I go, "That's actually kind of nice," because that's how I felt. So the Duke was a monster. I'm not even gonna deny that. But when the Wii U came out, I got a Wii U. I was like, "This thing's gonna be weird, man," and then I held it. I was like, "It's actually kind of nice."
Yeah.
And I kind of felt the same way about the Switch. I was like, I don't know. It just looks like a thin Wii U, and it's a little longer. And then I was like, this is kind of nice. And then I love Xbox controllers. I love the way they feel in my hands. PlayStation controllers, I like. I don't love the 5, but it's fine. But I loved the PS2 controller.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like. I've always liked Sony's controller, even though they were always a little small. But there was never a problem with it being that small. Like the PS1 with or the PS2 with the DualShock, the very first edge of DualShock, they were a little too. The thumbsticks were a little too close. I can actually bang my thumbs together. But as soon as the PS3 came around, perfect. Just that
Um,
little millimeters, like maybe 2 millimeters, and I was
I never
perfect.
I never owned a PS3, so I didn't get to experience that controller. I went from the PS2 to the PS4. I missed the 3. Um, so I don't really remember that one. I do like the 4 controller. The 4 controller is nice. I don't love the button placement of the select start next to the touchpad because I regularly hit the wrong fucking thing trying to use the touchpad.
Yeah,
I see chat says the
Mm.
PlayStation 4. Oh, did you get the experience of the N64? I love the N64 controller. That's so weird. It's
it's
such a weird controller, but it's fun.
and a weirder one is probably the earlier predecessor, the Virtual Boy. That one's a weird one.
The glove?
No, the Virtual Boy. Here, let me bring up
Pretty sure
the.
the Virtual Boy is the glove. Are you thinking of are you thinking the one that's the joystick?
Hold on. Virtual Boy controller.
Oh no, the Virtual Boy was the headset.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
boop,
VR thing.
boop. There it is.
I was thinking the power
There,
I was thinking the power glove.
there's the weird boomerang with the power pack. Yeah, the game, everything ran off of this battery pack that was behind the awkwardly control schemed controller.
Yeah. Show the headset too.
Oh yeah. Here and I mean to also kind of mumble about it. They people all over the world just got their come on, please. Just got their Switch version of the oh my
Of the
god,
Virtual Boy.
of the Virtual Boy. For that, you just throw your Switch in there. Yeah, you just throw your little Switch in there,
You
and
just flashed your emails on stream.
did I? Oh, I did.
Mhm.
Let me. Uh, there. I closed out of it. No more problem. Like good news, nothing. I don't think there was anything important in there. I think a receipt at worst. So, I'm not worried. Yeah, the receipt for Humble Bundle. I just checked my phone. Um, but yeah, this monstrosity is the Virtual Boy headset. It does not have any straps. It just sits there.
Yeah, it was a fucking tripod for you to like line your face up on and hope you didn't knock over
Yep. Yep.
while
And
using that weird long controller.
yeah, you had to have a seat that was just the right height. You had to have the headset stand at just the approximate where your chest level was, so that way you can get your face on it. It was a weird one. I played it over at a friend's place, and it immediately gave me eye damage.
Yeah, I never got to experience the Virtual Boy or a Power Glove. But I did have the Advantage. I think that's what it was called. That's the one with the joystick.
Yeah, yeah. I The one thing about the N64 controller is I never really knew how to hold it unless it was like a game that had everything kind of dictated where it should be. Like what the hell was it? Um Chippy Robo. Chippy Robo. I had no idea how to hold it just because it used both the D-pad and the joystick. So it was like which one am I holding on at which time? Eh. But N64 was still a pretty dang good controller compared to what was out and about at that time. Then there was the Dreamcast, and it was odd, very rare, but odd. I only played it maybe twice.
Yeah, we had the squares for the NES with their really sharp corners, and then we had the fun circular version for the Super NES. Then we had the N64 controller, which is still like the funkiest fun thing. I wasn't a fan of the GameCube controller.
Yeah, the GameCube controller was a bit of it almost looked like the controller for. Hang on, there's the Virtual Boy one. Now let me pull up. I'm gonna carefully do it. Yeah, it's like they wanted to just redo. Copy image. Paste
Yeah,
it
you're
up.
flashing your emails again, bro.
Really?
Yeah, fandom keeps pulling up your emails.
Huh.
Yeah, it does kind of look like they went, what if we just took the center of the Virtual Boy controller and pulled it outward
I don't
and
know
put a
how it's
joystick on it?
showing it. I don't have it open.
It kept showing in top right corner, use fandom with, and then it had your 2 different emails.
Oh, that's fine. Those are my throwaway emails. Those ones. Okay, I
Okay.
thought we were talking my email. Okay, no. Yeah, if
Oh,
those get
no, we're
spammed,
not
fuck off.
seeing that you bought, 100 pack of bananas,
Potassium's good for you. You know I
I
would
didn't
buy
say
a
it
100
wasn't.
pack of bananas. It's just the only downside is half of them would go bad or turn into banana bread.
Dude, they go bad before you walk out of the store.
They're getting better. They're getting better because once summer's over, they'll be living a little bit longer.
Bananas and avocados, the race to see who will spoil first.
Avocados spoil in store. But that being said, I'm here for whatever Nintendo's going to do. Let's burn Sony to the ground.
Nintendo needs to stop suing people. Sony needs to. I don't even know. I don't even know.
As
And
soon
that's
as
not to say Xbox isn't fucking up too. Xbox is fucking up as well. Like
Xbox,
they've been doing some good stuff lately,
yeah.
but they also had to go through and lay off a bunch of people because like they weren't making the money, and yeah. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I think Helix stands a chance. I understand your concerns about price and what it can do, but I mean the way it's sounding is like it should run like a top tier computer. The question is how much are they going to sell it for, and will they be able to undercut the price of a top tier computer?
Yeah. I guess we'll see in a little bit. Hopefully it'll drop a price because I would like to just know that.
Well,
But
that's the thing is they're talking about sending out the demos early next year. I don't think we're going to hear a price on this thing until probably holiday of 28.
probably.
Like I don't think it's coming out next year.
I do not think it's coming out next year either. Like we may get a little bit of like elbow rubbing during one of the Xbox Fan Fests or maybe even Xbox Summer Game Fest or whatever the heck they called it this year. Maybe we might get a little bit during that time, considering they dropped a lot of stuff. And I mean, there's a couple games that I'm excited for this year that still needs to come out, but I'm gonna reserve until it's done. But they ended off the little page that they had for this 25 years, a legacy built on play, and then they showed off all of their consoles, left to right. And I'm like, okay, they really want you to like remember what they built, you know? And I'm like, okay. So if you
And
guys want me,
that's fine and fun. Just let me play what you built before.
yeah, yeah. I'm hoping Project Gotham Racing pops on to like their history thing that they were doing. I'm hoping a lot of other of the Xbox originals, like you were saying, Punisher. I would love just to play that again, without having to pop out a 360 or original Xbox.
No, it doesn't run on the 360. You have to have an original Xbox.
Really? Oh, that's
Yep.
so lame. Okay, well,
That's why I don't do it because I still have my 360. The original Xbox is the only one of these I don't have. I even have both versions of the Kinect.
that's a weird one.
Leave me alone. I was fat and trying to lose weight.
You know what? Yeah, I'll leave you alone on that one. If you're trying to lose weight from it, that's fine. If you're using it for its
That was the
weird
thing. I was like,
onboard
video
features,
games of movement. Woo!
yeah, it has its place. DDR is fine, but Connect was a little.
I wanted to buy that exercise ring that they have for the Switch until I saw that they don't make it anymore, so the price has skyrocketed.
Yeah, yeah. I wish they worked a little bit harder on it, but
No.
Doop. Oh wait, that's right. That was all the gaming stuff we had for the day. Whoopsie doodles. But about
This is a
two
slow
news.
gaming week.
Yeah, it was a very slow gaming week.
Oh, these are fire.
Literally.
Yeah.
What we're looking at is the first of the many Pokemon Adidas collaboration, starting with Charmander in a lot of different views. Where the name of the shoe usually is replaced with Charmander. It is in a pretty nice eggshell white with flames coming off of the Adidas stripes, and Charmander at the back lighting them alight. This looks good. This looks dang good. And then you've got, of course, Charmander's face on the tongue. Very Smith. I forget his name, but he would always put the character's face on there. And then down at the very bottom, as a little charm on the shoelace, you have a little Pokeball, a little enamel Pokeball. That's just one of the 12 that we got an instant look at. I can name some of these just from the preview, but I cannot name them all. Charmander, it looks like Scizor, but I don't know. It also looks like a cat of a sort. I can't tell. Charizard, you got a Pikachu checkerboarded style one here. You got a Pikachu that is fuzzy. That is fuzzy. You got a Pikachu one that is flocked, almost like a half boot. Two Gengar ones, two Mewtwo ones. I think a Trico? I don't know what this green one with the yellow stripe is. And then what I can assume to be a Umbreon, the dark type Eevee illusion. I think.
Are you sure that's an Umbreon? Is that what the back supposed to be the tail?
Hang on, let me open image new tab. I don't know. As I said, these are only the preview shots, so I could be, of course, disastrously wrong. But this one definitely says Mewtwo. This one definitely says Mewtwo. This one says Haunter. I mistaked on that one. This one says Gengar. So these two are Mewtwo. This one's Gengar's. Oh, I can see it. Rayquaza on this one here in the middle. I would have gotten that dead wrong. But this, I don't know. It looks like the Umbreon's ear, kind of. But this one does not have the name on it, from what I can tell. Yeah, I cannot see that one. Does this one have the
I
name
would
on it?
like the Charmander and Charizard ones, but the Charizard ones I don't want to walk around with wings. I feel like I'm going to catch them on
Oh.
everything. The Charmander ones, I would want them to be a little darker.
Yeah. I would prefer
Like
like if they were completely orange with the flames. Would that be pretty cool?
it'd be kind of cool.
By the way, this is Charmeleon. Ah,
Which
so
one's Charmeleon?
the middle pink one that I had no fucking idea. Plus, it looks like it has like scales on it, which is
That is
neat.
far too pink for Charmeleon.
Yeah, that's what it's. I think that's what it's. Or and then Meleon. Yeah, I think that's Charmeleon. I think you have the full
Interesting.
three, number 1 through 3 there. But
Yeah,
the
that's very
Pikachu,
pink.
but the Pikachu one's flocked and one is fuzzy with the ears on the tongue. But the Mewtwo ones are probably the most quote unquote professional looking. They don't have anything that's too outlandish. I can't exactly show. Can I? Oh, okay. I can show the other Mewtwo ones. I should have blown it up bigger. The other Mewtwo ones have a little bit of like a psychic eye. I think it's supposed to be his eye. Like the swoosh is supposed to be the behind of the eye, and his eye is supposed to be here. That's kind of what I'm getting out of it. But the other one's a little more professional, a little bit more standard. Oh yeah, wait, I can actually show a little bit closer the Charmeleon. Yeah, the Charmeleon ones, that doesn't ring Charmeleon to me.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one.
Fuzzy shoes. But all of these are going to be released end of August, beginning of September. They did not give us an exact time and date, but pre-orders will begin at the 15th at noon Pacific time. And honestly, I would lean out for one of these if they were very inexpensive. But alas, I'm broke. I do. And heading over to Skechers, they are having a pretty big collaboration with Care Bears. I remember growing up with Care Bears and the strange problems
I feel
they
like
would
you're
solve.
about to. Okay, I was gonna say. I feel like
No,
you're about to offend a lot of Care Bear
no,
fans
no, no,
because
no,
Care
no.
Bear fans are pretty serious, man.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't have a single problem with them. It's the problems that they're solving. Just always kind of it was a bit of a head
It's
scratcher.
the Care Bear enemies is your issue.
Yeah. And the issues they're solving. But even still, this collaboration not too terrible. You have a bunch that are the arch fits, which are meant for people who are on their feet all day, in a Care Bear pink, blue, and a off lavender ish. One that is checkerboarded in a lot of different of the Care Bears for $95. The original cast, I would assume, I don't even ask me their name because I have no clue. But a white shoe with a nice little water-filled locket with a little bit of glitter, I would assume. $95 for that one. And then we're getting into the more children's sizes of them, which I guess they went from the old look to what I'm assuming is the new look. Like they look drastically different on these ones.
I'm waiting for the stream to catch up so I can tell you if it's the new look or not.
Okie dokie.
The stream's just going to be extremely far behind. I just had like an internet hiccup for a second there.
Oh. Oh no. Oh my.
Yeah, I don't know what's my internet all of a sudden. But I was saying that that's not the new look. I don't know what the hell that is.
Mm-hmm. But even still, they light up, which we do enjoy. $65 for the girls' sizes. The same ones in the women's size. The one with the water-filled, glitter-filled keychain. $60 all across the board for these ones, and like a high top. Which does Skechers do a lot of high tops?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. This is a very uncommon one, but a very fun looking, almost Lisa Frank style art book style of.
Dude, watch that documentary if you get the chance. I watched it like a couple weeks ago.
Is it good?
Yeah, it really shines some light on that company and the people that ran it.
Oh, ew. Okay. Some pretty interesting looking flat tops, and then as Quincy would dislike, even Skechers has their own brand of Crocs. They do light up though.
Right.
And then of course you got the little girl sizes with uh almost flocked and one that has a cute little bow on it. Yeah. Uh yeah, Care Bears, I don't know. After I grew out of them, I never went back, I guess. I don't know. What about
I don't
you?
watch a lot of Care Bears, but I like they're fine. I respect the Care Bears. I just didn't watch a lot growing up.
Yeah, I respect them too. Don't ask me to know anything about them. Badoop. So last week we talked about Joe Manganiello. I looked up how to pronounce it. He had mentioned that he was going to bring in death saves and talk about death saves at Gen Con. And during that talk, he was like, I'll be back later. And during, his talk of that, he came back later on during the D&D keynote, and I have never felt anyone so passionate about Dungeons and Dragons up on a keynote stage like he was. He was like, I am happy that we're getting Dark Sun, that we're getting Greyhawk, these collaborations that are going to be in the works. I'll get to that in a second. Video games that are going to be more D&D branded. Hopefully we'll see even more games like Baldur's Gate 3. He just seemed so heartfelt. And then he said, I'm bringing on the original people who wrote Dark Sun, the people who wrote Greyhawk, the people who helped out with Eberron. And they would pop up, say a few words, and he was just sitting there on the edge of his seat, listening to every word. He was standing, but you know what I mean. And then came collaborations, which made me get I'm a little frustrated. I'm happy that they're doing it, but they could have done it way sooner. So, in November of this year, we are going to get Dungeons and Dragons World of Warcraft. It's adding, it is pretty much a big old tome. They said it's about 260 pages. It will include a whole slew of different classes, new species, including those that are specific to World of Warcraft, and updates to the ones that already exist, such as orc, human, and even the variants that are around. A bunch of new spells and mount combat for those who like mounts. A slew of new monsters and dungeon boss stat blocks, including maps that house them, including the World of Warcraft original raids. So if you already have the boss stat block, good news, you can just have your characters run the raid. And I'm like, okay. They even have good tie-in dungeons that are pretty beneficial to any type of world building. Doesn't necessarily need to be World of Warcraft, but they say, hey, here's a bunch of dungeons for in case you just need this. But here's some extra story bit if you happen to want to tie it to World of Warcraft. And then, of course, they said, of course, there's all the factions that come across World of Warcraft that you can help out and get extra benefits from that uses up the new system, the Bastions. The Bastions was kind of like a late addition to the 5.5 stuff that didn't make it to the book but was added in later on to basically allow the players to build a camp, to build a home, to, be able to place things where they want to have a forge if they want to have a forge, that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, this could have been brought back, this could have been brought in during COVID, and I think it would have been a lot more hype. Don't get me wrong, I'm hype, but I think during a time when no one could leave, this would have been amazing. And then more came in. Dungeons and Dragons and Star Wars next year. No date, but it said by the middle of next year we should have it.
The Fantasy Flight game was great. People should have given it a chance.
I concur. Other tabletop games that already support these kind of things. Hell, even the weird the clip one, the one that has the little figure that you can kind of swivel around the bottom of. I forget what it's called, but that one even apparently was better in
I have
suitability.
no idea what you're talking about, but cool.
Oh, really?
That something with something swirling at the bottom. That doesn't.
Hang on.
It's not that big of a deal.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, I was just saying the Fantasy Flight one was great. Like all three versions, I liked it. I don't know why it didn't catch on. Maybe because you had to buy new dice, and people were like, "No, I want to use my D20s." That's the only thing I can think of.
No.
It's amazing how dice goblins will buy 800 D20s, but the instant you go, "Hey, here's a new kind of dice," they go, "No, I don't want that."
I don't want a D21. I just want a D20. But the D21 adds more features. No. And as mentioned, they're bringing back Greyhawk. They're bringing back Dragonlance. R.A. Salvatore is mentioning that more Drizzt stories are going to be popping out. And I'm like, okay, I've read maybe 3 of them. They're fine. Not my kind of hero, but, happy he's around. Then they kind of mumbled, hey, all of the old stories that you're well aware of, they're getting uplifted. Not by Wizards, mind you. They're being outsourced. So Ghostfire Gaming is doing Ravenloft and the Domains of Dread. Eberron is being done by Visionary Productions. Faerun is being done by Cobalt Press, which kind of made me raise my eyebrow, and I'm like, I would have figured Wizards would have handled that one directly. But okay. Which the latter two, Eberron and Faerun, are coming in 2028. And I'm like, ooh, what an announcement. I have to wait a year and some change for more story of... Not saying I'm frustrated about it, just, it's just a bummer that I have to wait that long.
Oh, you waited longer.
I've waited longer for a lot of things. They even said, hey, on our D&D Beyond, to people who pay money for their services, and it crashes all the time. That I'm mad about. But I digress. They did say, hey, if you go to D&D Beyond /LFG, there is literally tables you can sit at. They'll have dates, times, even there's slight paid content for those who want to be paid for their time, but they are trusted dungeon masters that have undergone a apparently very strenuous vetting process. I actually looked up that if I could do this. No, it requires a lot of like jotting down notes, making sure that the players are going to be safe, secure, etc. And I'm not going to front. I'm not very safe and secure for myself, not for the players, for myself. So I don't know if I can handle that. But they were like, go and find you a table. Oh, on top of that, if you only have the mobile to play, we're going to work on the mobile app. It took them 6 years to finally start doing this. But however, this also includes their new virtual tabletop that they've rolled out almost a year ago now. To
Well,
where.
what's
Go ahead.
weird about this is it's not a virtual tabletop in the sense of let me play with people that I'm not physically around. It's a virtual tabletop meant for playing at the table.
Both. You can do both.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Because that's not what I saw. I
Okay.
saw that it was purely for being at the table.
You can do both.
Okay.
I tried doing it with my table and it crashed once, and then I just was like, I'll worry about this later. I never went back to it. But yeah, it did work for the few players that did pop in. It is very new. It's not Foundry by any way, shape, or form, but it is new. And then they showed off who was going to be voicing the Warlock in the new video game Warlock that got announced, I believe, last October. For Tasha, it's Maggie Robertson, who, for those who are adeptly knowledge, Maggie Robertson is Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil. And I was like, okay, good VO, good VO. And we will get some gameplay on Gamescom opening night later this month on August 25th. I'm actually very excited for Gamescom because a lot of people have already started mumbling that there's going to be some pretty good games announced during Gamescom, which I'm crossing my fingers and hoping, just hoping that nothing kind of makes me want to jab something into my leg. But we'll save it for August. They even had the visual roadmap of Arcana Unleashed is going to be, I believe, next month, where there's going to be a slew of new magic and things that happened when the Deadlands, where magic didn't exist, happened to sprout up. And I was like, okay, that's cool, neat. And then they basically said, here's the rest of it. And there's partnered content that they didn't really talk too much about. They talked about Vampire the Masquerade, and I'm like, Vampire the Masquerade already has 2 pretty good tabletops. But okay. And a couple excess books very similar to like Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, Valda's Spire of Secrets, Floral Dragons, an extra class called the Magus class, which is a bit odd. Herbarium. I don't know if I said that right, but I would like to know more about herbarium. It sounds like a mineral. But they talked for about 2 hours, a little under 2 hours, and makes me very, very hopeful for D&D in the future, but this is Wizards we're talking about, and I'm worried they're going to price gouge these books. Like, it'll be $50 digital, 60 or $70 physical. That's kind of what I'm thinking, which I'm hoping they don't do. But it's Wizard / Hasbro. There's the roadmap in case you want to take a better look at it. Nothing really too dynamic. Improved site search. Can you just improve your website? I'm sorry, that's mean. That's mean. I pay $6 a month, and that's the only reason why I'm mad.
I'm not using it. I haven't been. I'm just kind of, yeah.
But that wasn't all that they had announcements for. I missed this. I missed this a week and a half ago. But they announced all of the Magic the Gathering stuff for the next year. October, we're going to be getting a lot more information about what's happening in December. But all of next year, we have 3 of their in-house ones and 3 Universes Beyond that are going to be popping out. And the hints of the Universes Beyond state that be prepared for things that could possibly be either in disguise, a little militaristic, or could be going beyond. So the 3 hints that I figure from the disguise was probably Transformers again, but probably a full set instead of just a secret lair. Maybe.
So wait, I'm sorry. Did you say that the Transformers are in disguise?
That's what I'm guessing. It's a guess. They only
Uh,
hinted. They only threw
So
hints.
would you say they're robots in disguise?
Are they? Um, but the military one, I kind of went like this, and I was like, well, if it's from the same comic book gene, maybe G.I. Joe? Eh. And then the last one, I kind of scratched at my chin. I'm like, that could be a lot of things, so I'm going to leave that alone, because I was like, if they're doing a My Hero Academia one, I don't know. There's a lot of things that could go, quote unquote, beyond, so I left that alone. However, they also announced 2 more MagicCons are going to be coming to the world, because one is in Tokyo and one is here in Las Vegas. So I'm going to give you the full breakdown of everything that is going to be released in 2027. February 5th, the new set Noctis, the Sunken Realm, a underwater, mostly blue deck from what I can tell, is going to be dropping. MagicCon Detroit is going to be February 26th to 28th. April 9th is going to be the first of the Universes Beyond that will be announced, I believe, in end of October. MagicCon Tokyo is going to be May 14th to 16th. June 4th is Kamigawa Titan Breach. I really like Kamigawa. It's just, it was not a very. It needed a lot of synergies, and not a lot of people had a lot of money to get the higher end cards. But hopefully, Titan Breach seems like it's going to be a lot of mech suits. June 18th to the 20th is the championships in Minneapolis. August 6th will be the second of the Universes Beyond that will be announced when the first Universes Beyond on April 9th gets announced. And MagicCon Las Vegas will be August 27th through the 29th. Zalfir, a really nice looking, almost desert planet, kind of Dune-ish, will be dropping October 1st. November 19th will be the third of the Universes Beyond when it's announced when the second one drops. And then December 3rd through the 5th, during my birthday, MagicCon Amsterdam, which they have had 4 times before now. Which I'm like, okay, they are branching out to a lot of people. People are slowly starting to really climb into the magic scene in a good way. Thank God not a lot of scalpers go for magic, though. Thank God. But yep, they announced all that stuff. They showed off all of the trailers in one little viewing, and I'm kind of bummed that I didn't see it until I think 4 days ago.
You call yourself a Magic fan?
Loose, very loose, but yeah, I'll take the hit. What I did hear about when it happened, though, there is a Hatsune Miku branded deck for Magic the Gathering. 100 cards that are all Miku branded. Someone spent for the beta version of this deck $10,100 for the beta version of it. Then, all of a sudden, you have Wizards going, wait, we're going to be re-releasing this very soon. Just chill. Oh, wait, you already bought it? Damn, that sucks. But $150 will get you this very limited run because it is print to order. So, as many people order it, that is how many they are printing. And you have
I'm just gonna start listing random shit at 10 grand on eBay and see if people buy it, like a rock I find on the ground, stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, it'd be like it's limited. You have to use the words limited edition 1 of 1 or beta.
I guess.
If you use the word beta, they'll be like, ooh. But August 10th, 9 a.m. Pacific time to August 11th, just before 9 a.m. Pacific, all those orders that are going to be sent just for those 24 hours will be fulfilled by May of 2027-ish. And if you're in the UK, it'll be about June-ish of 2027. Yeah, they're going to be taking one of their factories and specifically printing these cards out for the orders. And they're expecting a lot of people to be ordering these commander decks. So the person who spent the 10 grand on the beta deck, I don't know. I don't mean to be mean against it, but just the fact that someone sold it for 10 grand means someone. I just hope they buy another one for at least $150 and are twice as happy. Badoop. Time to get into some figures. Over at Jada Toys, we have ourselves a 4-pack of different Edge Runners. You got ourselves good old Rebecca with her guns, and a really interesting looking Atom Smasher, and Maine, which we got a preview of this a while back, but with plastic clothes instead of actual cloth clothes. So I'm glad they went with cloth clothes instead of the plastic. Looks a little bit better on his bigger frame. I believe each one of these is $80 over at Jada Toys. Yeah, but doop. I like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and this is an ongoing series. Like they've had two series already. This is series 3, and it's starting off with Sentinel and Psylocke. And Sentinel, I gotta say, looks pretty dang good, pretty dang close to the video game version. And then they even put him in some scenes that look very primarily like what he would do in that.
I like the scenes. That's a nice addition to the advertisement.
Yeah, and they even did it for Psylocke. Well, kind of loosely for Psylocke. Yeah, then you add in the run-in. But I do like that they are still working on the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 stuff and not like sliding over to Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I'm glad they're going back and doing by far my favorite of the Marvel vs. Capcom games. Both of these are not yet to be released on US yet. Pre-orders are available. However, the price tag is kind of strange and up in the air. $75 on pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store, but it's a little shaky on the Sentinel one. I believe that one is only in yen. I could not get a translation for it, but from what I translated from yen to America bucks, it was about 110. I think it was like 112 something. But I saw this and I said I kind of want it. A collaboration between Godzilla and Evangelion. I hope you're looking at this and let me know.
I'm looking at it.
Oh, you're looking at it? Does this shit look
Yeah.
sick?
It looks terrifying.
Yeah, it does.
It's very Shin.
It is very Shin. It is very morph into something you're not supposed to be. I like it. I saw the price tag was about 75 USD. However, it is only available in Japan right now. It is unknown if it is going to come over in import, but I am excited. You can go to the Bandai Namco store on Japan and see about shipping it through an offsite like Merikiri or I forget the other. Sendico, I think, is the other one that does shipping from Bandai Namco. But they usually do very well with imports. Not like how it used to be price gouging, where it was like to get this kind of figure, it was like $70. Sendico did it for like 10. So hopefully you find someone. But some really damn good figures I spotted. I forget who the fridge this is. Oh, Hot Toys. That's right. Hot Toys with their really realistic looking faces. They really, really want to make Cyclops look fucking cool. There's a bit of me that wants it.
It's not a bad set.
That's not a bad set. But then they showed me Doom, and I said, "Fuck." God damn it. Oh, god damn it. And then they showed me Gambit looks like a meme, but I actually really like it. He does look very Channing Tatum. Very Channing Tatum. But I ain't mad at it. Woo, I'm mad at it for myself, yeah. I
don't think he survived this.
I hope I'm sure he's fine. And then the old Magneto. And I said, fuck. So knowing that it's Hot Toys, it's probably $300 plus. These are just the prototypes, so nothing exact. I'm hoping pre-orders pop up soon so we can get some actual price tags. But I can tell you right now, they are not going to be cheap. But they'll look damn good on a mantle or something. Mm. Mm. I like the old Magneto look. Here, Magneto. I didn't want to talk about it at first, but I did want to just because it's Pimp Skeletor. That's all.
That's terrible. I hate it.
It's Pimp Skeletor. That's all I want to mention about it. No word yet on where this could be sold, and I don't even know how he got the images for it. But thank you to Praeternia on Twitter and Instagram for having these images ready to go. Yeah, it's very scary. Purple. I guess that's his Panther, just in cat form. Strange. But and just like Cyclops, they want to make Ultron look cooler than, well, he's already cool. I'm not going to front, but they want him to look cooler than he is. This is a model kit from Blockies where you can almost very similarly like a Gunpla build the Marvel Rivals version of Ultron. And I gotta say, it does not look too complex looking at the sheets. I would probably go out of my way to pick this one up. I actually really like Ultron, and the Marvel Rivals Ultron is a little bit more cooler than the Age of Ultron version. I mean, don't get me wrong, the line "screaming your whole team dies," goes pretty hard, but the rest of them kind of just pandered. Mm. Yeah. I believe this is most of the blocky sets are about what would run for a Gunpla, so I'll say probably like 60, $70 at worst. Ba-doop. The Bandai SH Figuarts has some pretty dang good detailed figures. I kind of like how Doom and Captain Falcon, Captain America Falcon, is.
What do you? It's no. He's Captain America.
He's Captain America. Okay.
He's Captain America. Show respect.
Okay. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
No, yeah, he's Captain America. He's not Falcon there.
Okay. And then you got a very strange looking Thor. The
That
face
Thor looks like Benedict Cumberbatch.
he looks a little off, doesn't he? To me, it looked like Shia LaBeouf a little bit, like a bearded Shia LaBeouf.
I can see that.
Yeah, it was a little weird. But as for Doom, it's hard to fuck up a face when that face looks pretty dang good. And then I like this figure. This figure looks pretty dang good. But SH Figuarts does pretty good. I believe these are still prototype. I'm not 100% SH Figuarts.
I mean, the top of Cap's head looks fuzzy, and not just because like his hair, like it's like a mock-up or something. So probably.
But I do like that there are reflective bits and actual like reflective paint there, which I'm like, I'm not mad at that. I'm glad that they're using non-matte / soft gloss, and they're actually using full gloss. But so this is Bandai, so probably head over to the Bandai Namco store and see if they got them. But once again, heading back over to Bandai, I've been watching the new Ghost in the Shell. Well, old new Ghost in the Shell. It is very retro. It is very nice. I'm happy I'm going through it because it definitely gave me some big hints of nostalgia. The figure itself looks very good. It actually has a actual smiling Moto Kusanagi, which you don't see that in Standalone Complex. You don't get that in the second gig. You don't get that in any of that. You just get the stoic, hard ass Moto. Now in the new one, you get someone who actually jokes around, who actually has emotions. Cheers to the actual artist that did that. But it says 9,900 yen. I believe that translates to about $85. Time to get to the food. Time to rub our big bellies before we quit. Snack Later didn't have too many of the new things that weren't strange coffee flavors, where I was like, I don't want to ask about those, because they are very strange. But Chips Deluxe is one of my favorite cookies. I'm not a big Chips Ahoy fan, but I am a Chips Deluxe fan. And if they added in Crunch Bars to the bottom of Chips Deluxe, that seems like an idea. A very good idea. A very large
I'm not the biggest crunch person. I also don't really buy cookies anymore.
Oh. But you would still destroy a ream of Oreos if they were handed to you?
What was that?
Would you destroy a ream of Oreos if they were handed to you?
No, they fucking ruined the flavor of Oreos several years ago. Like,
Yeah.
they changed the recipe, and they've been crap for years now.
Yeah, the only ones that are good are the thin ones.
Chat asks if we do the chewy or
Neither.
the regular.
Chips Ahoy just tastes so odd to me.
No,
Like,
I'll eat either one. I don't go in for like the crazy ass flavors, like the red velvet ones you see in the background there.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
fucking.
oh
I
yeah.
don't. Just give me a fucking chocolate chip cookie. Like, I'm all for like mixing of flavors on things. Like, I do think that there's some really cool versions out there. When it comes to like a Chips Ahoy, I just want a fucking cookie. You know, like, I also don't like crumble cookie.
Yeah, crumble cookie does some weird shit.
I just don't like their cookies in general. I think they're badly made cookies.
Oh. Yeah, true that. But I would probably try a small box of these, not a big old thing. But I like Crunch Bars. I can get down with a Crunch Bar. Badoop. This one reminded me of the time I got the candy corn that was flavored like a Thanksgiving meal. And then I was like, it shocked me with PTSD because I was like, oh God, I hope this isn't those. And I was like, okay, wait, this is Tootsie Roll Harvest mix that tastes like candy corn, sweet cinnamon, caramel apple, and pumpkin spice. Where I'm like, okay, none of those are gravy flavored, thank God.
I would try those, but those candy corn dinner ones we did were disgusting.
They were god awful. I believe that was October of 2024. I believe because I was still working at that place. Maybe 2023. But I would try these out. I would like to try the caramel apple ones. I like those caramel apple pops that they have. Those are good too. They would rip out teeth. And last but not least, I already told Quincy about the top one, but I did not tell him about the bottom one. Over in China, they have 2 new Oreo flavors. One that is a spicy chicken flavor, which Quincy immediately came up abruptly with that sounds gross. And caramel popcorn Oreos, which made me contemplate. That sounds okay. Like, I would try the caramel ones. I don't know about the spicy chicken ones. I don't trust that.
I'm not eating either one of these. These sound fucking horrible.
Oh. Would you try the caramel popcorn one?
No.
No.
Like, every time they try to make something flavored like popcorn flavored fucking Jelly Bellies are fucking horrid.
I love butter popcorn Jelly Bellies.
They're the worst Jelly Belly. I mean, you can have all of them.
That's fine. It's just I find it
I will
weird.
give you every single one.
You're the first person I have ever run into that does not like.
I think they're disgusting.
Huh. Okay. I would try the caramel popcorn ones, but that's just okay. All right. Badoop. But that is all that I have for today. We're almost hitting 2 hours. Holy cow.
That's all I got.
All right, clap hands together. Oh man, it's hot in my room. Thank you guys for joining me. Remember to like and subscribe where you can. Remember to check the links down in the description for good old Humble Bundle. Support some charities by purchasing some games, some comic books, some music products. Go and check out Zenny. They are holding their buy 2 get free shipping. And you can purchase like the cheapest of the cheap. I believe they're like $6.99 per set of these plastic ones, plus free shipping. Only paying a little bit of tax. You're getting out the door with $20 and free shipping. Come on. Hero Forge does not have anything new, but they are going to be holding a sale soon. Asterisk. They did not state what it was or when it exactly is, but they said it's coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. If we don't happen to get there in time. The link down in the description for our Amazon is also a good one. If you happen to be purchasing anything through Amazon, if you happen to want to click that, every now and again, if we find something on Amazon, I'll link it down in the description, so that way you can click it and support the channel. All bits, good bits. See Quincy over on his threads. Check me out over on my Twitter and Instagram. Hop over in the Discord if you happen to want to yell at us live. At the end of days, at the end of weeks, at the end of months, at the end of years, please love one another. It is free to do. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Apparently, I was muted.
No.